In previous sections, you saw how to configure IPv6 on different routers. So I want to go to router, for example, 2 and show you that I have configured all other interfaces with IPv6 so that I can show you routing protocols in this section. If you take a look at here, you can see that all interfaces start with 2001, that is kind of global IPv6 address configured on all of them. And after that, I have chosen to add the VLAN ID, and after that a number that represents the router. And for loopback interfaces, this is a little different, but as you can see, it is very easy. All of these loopback interfaces are 128-bit subnet mask IPv6 addresses. Okay, now if I want to connect from one of these routers to other routers, I will need to have static routes configured for them or kind of dynamic routing protocol running on these routers. So you know how to configure static routes. I don't need to give you an example about static routes on IPv6. What I am going to do is to show you routing protocols. And as you can see, we have two different types of routing protocols for IPv6. One of them is RIP next generation. It is kind of RIP, a little enhancements are made to that, but OSPF v3 is the better option. So let's do all of them. I want to go to here and select RIP next generation. Let's go to router 2 first of all and go to routing, select RIP next generation, and as you can see, we have a RIP setting here. If I click on that, again we have a distribute default route. You know how to work with them. You have some configuration for redistribution. I'm not going to work with these right now. You can see that I have only one piece of configuration here, and that's the interface. So you should know that RIP next generation works with interface level configuration. So I want to add all interfaces to RIP. I can do this, but I can select interfaces one by one. That's not necessary. All interfaces are quite okay for what I am going to show you. So I select this, and after a moment I should see some routes that are advertised using RIP in my routing table. So let's go to other routers. Router 3, I want to go to routing, select RIP next generation, select all interfaces here, and that's it. Now after a moment you should see that some of these routes are going to be received from other routers. Let's go to router 4, go to routing, select RIP next generation, add all interfaces here, and again you should see that the routes are coming and going. ISP1 and ISP2 and router 1 should be treated the same. So I select to add all of these interfaces, and let's go to ISP2 as well. I want to go to routing, RIP next generation, select all interfaces and click on OK. Now if I go to routing IPv6, of course, go to IPv6 routing table, I can see that I am receiving all networks from different routers, and let's make a ping so that we can see if there is a connectivity between different routers. If I try to ping, for example, 2001 102, you can see that the ping is quite successful. So RIP next generation is very easy to configure. Stop this and close this. Let's go to routing RIP next generation and see if there is something we can change here. If I click on RIP setting, you can see that there is nothing specific here that I want to change. If I click on the interfaces, I can select interfaces one by one and make some of them passive, for example. Again, this is exactly what you have seen in a RIP configuration. We can have in prefix lists and out prefix lists. You know how to configure them, and there is nothing special about RIP next generation. In next section, I want to show you OSPF v3 and its configuration and see some new LSAs that are advertised using OSPF v3.